This is a very tragic story. So I just want to warn you in case you feel bad for these po little senators. Some senators are finding themselves stranded in Washington, D.C. at the end of the Senate work week because of delays at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport linked to the month-long government shutdown. The Senate held its last vote of the week at 1:35 p.m. Thursday, and as usual, senators raced out of the Capitol to catch their flights home for the weekend. But some lawmakers were in for a rude awakening when they discovered that their flights had been delayed because of the shutdown that has put a severe strain on air traffic controllers around the country, including a national airport. Senate Majority Leader John Thune revealed to reporters that he would be stuck in D.C. longer than expected because of the turmoil at National Airport and warned that flight problems are likely to get worse in the days and weeks ahead. I'm delayed, Thune told reporters and asked who was impacted by the traffic snarl. The Federal Aviation Administration issued a ground delay at National Airport on Thursday because of staffing issues, although it lifted the hold by the afternoon. Departures have been delayed 90 minutes as a result. Isn't that so unfortunate that poor Senate Majority Leader Thune wasn't able to go back to South Dakota to spew some lies on TV? Don't you just feel so bad for the senators with their 174,000 a year salary and their inability to get on a plane and go back home for the weekend? I'm gonna do an impression of. I'm gonna have to quote Mark Levin from the clip I played of him talking about economic anxiety. The senators they can't go home for the weekend because there's like staffing issues from the underfunded uh, groups, air traffic control. Woe is me! God, think how many people never can leave the city that they're in because they can't afford the damn plane tickets. Honestly, if we had a rule that you couldn't leave Washington D.C., like you just like if you were a senator or a congressman, and there was a government shutdown, right? And they had a rule that you couldn't leave the the capital of America until you found a way to fund America. The shutdowns would last no longer than maybe 2 or 3 days because they would actually be impacted by that. They wouldn't be able to, go and leave stuff disorganized and then go home and sit on Fox News or whatever other program and spew their crap and try to pretend that they're fighting for somebody. And I guess this story is funny again because it's like, why would I care? $174,000 salaries on from what I know, the majority leader, I guess the leadership positions, they give you a little bit more. I think he has close to 200,000. It's like 190, like 190,000, like somewhere around that figure. But with that kind of money, I mean, would he not be able to take a train? Like I'm not. I don't have any sympathy for these people. I don't. They are, no matter if the government is working or not, going to have their salary completely fine. Uh, and they're just this is a funny story because it's one of the few times where their incompetence actually catches up to them. See, the problem with the U.S. is that we have a lot of people who do important jobs that are paid like almost nothing. No, they don't appear on TV. Nobody ever talks to them, asks them how they're doing, if they can afford crap. And this is such a good story because it shows you how important the air traffic controllers are. If they and the people who work at like the different grocery stores, again, any of this like utility type stuff, if all of them took 2 or 3 days of just mass protest, like nobody shows up to work, things would get resolved like that. And I like it when we get to see people in power actually have to deal with the consequences of what they do, even if it's something as minor as, oh man, I thought I was going to be able to go home and go on a flight and go back to South Dakota. Oh, it looks like I won't be able to. Good. God, it's just, are we really supposed to feel bad for them? 107, like on average senator salary, right? 174,000. We were talking about how with places like Starbucks and a lot of these other companies do the whole like part-time thing. The posted average salary for them on the minimum wage would be like 30 grand a year, but then because of the part-time thing it gets cut down to 14, 15K. And it's like, imagine like making the amount of money that these people do And there are people who, again, can't afford rent, can't afford their car notes, which whatever. And it's like we're supposed to care that they got delayed on a plane because they're having staffing shortages that were created by the incompetence of the people in suits and ties that get to work 3 days a week before they hop on a plane and go back to wherever they came from. It's wild, man. So I hope nobody feels bad for those poor little senators. Oh, the Senate Majority Leader and other senators couldn't get on a plane without a delay. Oh, woe is me!